colleagues. So in the previous video, we looked at using the voice of well-known people or people which whom ChatGPT can track online and see how they talk, speak, write, and then mimic that in our content. And that was quite fun to do, and it does help you to create content when you know, okay, so this is the type of voice, this is how it sounds, and then you can edit it. And you can look at your archetype and find people who is the same archetype than your company, organization, private practice, and use that voice. Obviously, you won't talk just like Trevor Noah do. You would then adapt it to sound more like you, but it gives you some guidelines, or you can just do it for fun. Today, we want to look at using descriptive words and then ask ChatGPT to write content for us using that voice. So I'm going to then share my screen. And we open ChatGPT. So it asks us to give us a list of adjectives that describe tone of voice. And it then gives us 30 adjectives here. This is definitely not exhaustive. You can ask it, please give me more. And this will also give you an idea of looking at different words. Okay. So then now we tell ChatGPT what we want it to do. And we are going to say, act as if you are. So we give ChatGPT a role. So you are the director. We could also have said, you are the director, or act as if you are, so that he knows from which viewpoint he's coming. Remember, the director will write differently than a social worker will do. So the thing is that as a social worker, you sometimes have to do the work as if you are the director. The director asks you to do something and you have to act as if you are her when you are writing the content. So here we didn't act as if you are the director of a well-established NPO in South Africa. You need to write a press release about how the social workers in the NPO is using ChatGPT to serve more clients better. And now we tell it what kind of voice it needs to use: formal, authoritative, and confident. And then that gives us a press release, and that is why we tell it what we want, because it's going to give us then the format for that. And you can then have a look at the language it's using here. ChatGPT acts as an informative beacon, providing our clients with critical information concerning, so you can see it's very formal. And it gives us content here. Okay, and you can see that this is very formal language. Then now you move to another NPO, and you are now used to write. Your director is formal, authoritative, confident, but you now move to a maverick organization, and now you need to write in a different tone of voice. So let's ask ChatGPT to help us out. So we say, okay, you are the director of a newly established NPO in South Africa. Okay, so you can think a well-established NPO and a newly established NPO is going to talk differently to the public. And you need to write a press release about how the social workers in the NPO is using ChatGPT. Please use a confident, enthusiastic, and amiable tone of voice. And Here you see, so this is a younger person speaking. So it's the same headings, but it uses different words, and the content is the same. The tone of voice is different. Okay. And then go and put this into ChatGPT if I'm scrolling too fast. And then you move to another NPO. And this NPO is a maverick organization. So how is your tone of voice going to sound now? Okay, so we say, so what I want Chat to do now is to, this is a press release. So there is a certain formality towards this, and there is a certain way of doing it. And I want it to make sure that the archetype of this organization as a rebel, as a maverick comes through. And you can see it's the same headings, but it now changed the tone of voice. And it is, you see, fearless multilingualism, data freedom fighter. I like that one. So the same content, but the tone of voice is different. So I wasn't very happy with that because it actually used the word maverick, and um, when you write, you should not necessarily have to use the words um, of your archetype. You should not have to say guy, girl next door, maverick, royal. Your tone of voice should convey that. So I ask you then to please rewrite this without using the word maverick. And so it rewrites this a little bit toned down too much. Okay. But what happens is now I have two drafts. So you do have two drafts, and from there you can write a piece that suits your organization, the tone of voice you want. So you can play now with the two drafts, share, take a bit from this one, take a bit from that one. Or you can ask Chat for a third draft. Okay, so I said no, now you toned it down too much. Sound fiery, dauntless, renegade, bold, saucy, loud. But don't use the words saucy, maverick, and rebel. Okay, and here it actually did use the word maverick, I think, in this piece. And you can see it's now a step up from the second. So yeah, here it uses the word maverick. But you can see the tone of voice is coming through strong that this is a maverick organization. Okay, so what one now can do is one can then either just use these three drafts and then draft your own press release, or one can then combine the three prompts and see if it can, if fourth time you are more happy with the results. I'm actually very impressed with these three. But remember that Chat is not going to do your work for you. It is helping you to do the work. If you are a content writer and now you have to write like a royal and now you have to write like a maverick, it sometimes gets challenging. If you've been working for well-established, formal, authoritative organization, and now you're working for a newly established rebel organization, your tone of voice needs to change, and Chat can help you with that. Okay, so what I did is I used those 3 prompts and then combined what I said, okay, I now learned my lesson. I learned how to do this prompt. Let's see if I use this in BART. So for BART, I then said, you are the director of a newly established NPO. I want you to sound confident. You know what you are doing, but your voice is a maverick. And then I explained to it, that sounds fiery. So it just cut it off there. So it used the descriptive words on how I want it to sound. And bots then decided to give my organization a name. And here it goes. So it looks different to what ChatGPT gave us, but it's still the same content. And it's a game changer. We are one of the first. We're challenging the status quo and finding innovative ways of this movement. So you see, it's now using the language without saying, "Oh, I'm a maverick, I'm a rebel." It comes through in the language that it's using. So there you have it. How did you find that? Do you think you can use that? So in other words, if you have to write a report, you have to write a newsletter, as if it's coming from your manager or as if it's coming from your director, you will then think, okay, so what is the voice my director is using? Okay, so she speaks formal, or no, she's fiery and rebellious, and or no, she's a magician, or no, she's very informal, laid back, the guy go next door. So know what is your organization's tone of voice, what is your director's tone of voice, and then you can use chat, describe to chat the tone of voice. And you can then fine tune it. You say, I don't like, she's not going to use this type of words, to cut those words out, no, a little bit more formal, but no formal, but she must still be able to understand what she's saying. She's not using difficult words. So yeah, so you can play with chat, play with the descriptive words, and your content will not, so everybody's content does not need to be the same. It doesn't need to look like it's created by a robot. You can get different drafts, and then you are going to rewrite that with those drafts and take the best of what is giving you what you want, and you're going to write that. And then it's your own work. It's not the robot's work. It's your work. You put in the prompts. You told it what you want. It's your prompts. It's your creativity that created that. You gave the prompts, and then you use the different drafts to create the piece that you are writing. So that is not using a robot's work. It's in the end your work. As long as you don't just take the stuff just like Chat gave it and put it down on paper. If you personalize it, use the different drafts, and if you can show that this is my prompts, then it's your work. Okay, so there you go. Please go and play with archetypes, play with tone of voice. And if you want to know more about archetypes and what archetype your organization is or what archetype you are, please give me a call and let's talk about that. Good luck and explore.